Your Excellencies, representatives from multilateral institutions, the media, and comrades from civil society. I speak on behalf of the African Forum and Network on Debt and Development and the CSO FfD mechanism. Thank you for the opportunity. The origins of the Financing for Development Initiative and its first conference in Monterrey in 2002 are rooted in the systemic asymmetries defining the international financial and monetary architecture, which cannot be resolved on the national terrain and reveal their steep social and economic costs through recurrent crises. In this regard, I wish to join in the commendation to the co-facilitators for meticulously wading through over 300 submissions towards the elements paper and providing us with an outline of proposals of what will support progress towards the SDGs and, more importantly, restore trust in the multilateral system. Distinguished members, during the first preparatory committee in Addis Ababa earlier this year, centered around the impact of the deepening debt crisis in Africa and developing countries more broadly on the SDG agenda. This message has been buttressed during the recent World Bank annual meetings and the recent multi-stakeholder meeting held here in New York in October 2024. The debt crisis is a development crisis that, if not checked, will soon become a human crisis. And with increasing number of countries, particularly in Africa, paying more in debt service interest payments than on social investments like education and health, is symptomatic of an international system that is working for profits and shareholder returns and not people. In essence, we have designed a system that is presently mortgaging future lives and livelihoods for creditor loyalty and accessing global international markets. And has been mentioned by the President of the General Assembly earlier this year, nations should not gamble with their people's future. Therefore, the putting together of the elements paper is about us being bold in times of crises. So first, governments need to bring back decision-making power to the United Nations General Assembly, building on a window offered by the FfD process and inspired by the Monterrey Consensus, and develop member state-centered institutional solutions and new normative frameworks resulting in a new governance ecosystem. This is echoed by the message from the Republic of Zimbabwe of being pragmatic in how we look at reforming the global financial and economic architecture. Second, the Africa Group and the Group of 77 must continue to lead the way in restoring trust in the multilateral system. Like you have done under the UN Framework Convention on Tax, we implore you through the clarion call that was made in Addis Ababa for the call of the multilateral legal framework on sovereign debt, now referred to as the UN Framework Convention on Sovereign Debt. This call is consistent with the opening session today that seeks to address the debt crisis that is crowding out critical finance for investment in SDGs. The Republic of Indonesia mentioned some of these elements of what a framework convention on sovereign debt would look like. For example, responsible borrowing and lending, fiscal space for investment in SDGs, and reform of the debt architecture. Third and finally, the key focus of the UN Financing for Development process should be on international cooperation. Government should focus on promoting international tax cooperation to address the systemic issues at the global level, including through the negotiation of a UN Framework Convention on International Tax Cooperation, in terms of ensuring that national tax systems are progressive, effective, and gender just. This is an issue which all governments should commit to. FfD4 should therefore protect and enhance the integrity and comprehensiveness of the UN Framework Convention on International Tax Cooperation. In conclusion, as has been iterated this morning, Addis Ababa is not the end, nor is Seville the beginning, but rather this is a continuation of a journey that embodies more democratic economic governance dispensation under FfD4, and more importantly, an opportunity to restore trust in the multilateral system and emphasize human dignity over profit-driven interventions. Thank you very much.